podcast that you're listening to is being presented to you with the cooperation of the SJ Network. If you're a person who needs a publicist and you want to appear on podcasts, contact Stephen Joyner at s-j-network.com. Let's get on with the show.
Two-time Gabby Award winner, Steven Phillips of The Morning Dish is today's guest.
That's very exciting. I hope that wasn't the same morning dish.
Attention, rebels of the Sherpalution. Today's podcast is being sponsored by Audible, the home of audiobooks and podcasts, where there are over 180,000 titles to choose from for your iPhone, Android, Kindle, or MP3 player. If you'd like a free audiobook download and 30-day free trial, go to www.audibletrial.com/Sherpa. And now Mr. Bruce will lead you into the Sherpa Chalet. As a reminder, please don't disturb the yak.
Welcome to Too Many Podcasts, the podcast about podcasts. Now, podcasting from the Sherpa Chalet on Mount Podcastia, here's your host, Jim, the podcast Sherpa.
Hello there, Rebels, and welcome to Too Many Podcasts, the podcast about podcasts. And you are listening to me, your host, your prognosticator, your star, your generally disruptive presence. Me, Jim, the podcast Sherpa. Hello there. Welcome back to the show. Hope you've been enjoying it. If you want to know where you can hear some of the older shows, very simple. You can listen on your favorite podcast app, or you can go to my website, Sherpalution.com, and they're all there. And there are a whole bunch of places you can listen to this show. And if you go to the website, you will see all of the players and websites that do broadcast this program, just in case you're wondering. I don't know if I ever mentioned this. Maybe I did, maybe I didn't. I actually had a brief career in radio, but it was just college radio. So that meant that, farting in a microphone was supposedly high-class entertainment. And I actually did a radio show with a good friend of mine, a guy named Frank Gizzy. And it was really his show. And I was just really the sidekick. And we had a lot of fun doing it. He said it was kind of like getting drunk without the alcohol, because we would get together for 4 hours, play a lot of music, and just laugh ourselves silly. The ratings were probably like the ratings from my podcast. We fell in between probably the ratings for Static and the Test of the Emergency Broadcasting System. Ask your parents about that one. They know what it is. Beep. That one. Oh, now it goes something like that. Anyway, earlier this season, we got to speak to a radio guy named Big Skinny Kenny Pope. Had a lot of fun with him. And I have another guest from radio.
Who's our guest today, Sherpa?
His name is Steven Phillips. He is host of the morning show called The Morning Dish, and got to know him for a little bit. And we had a lot of fun talking. The best way for me to describe this interview is I went to the beach on it. And you're probably thinking, well, Sherpa, what are you talking about? Okay. I'm going to describe this for those of you who may live near a beach or whom have ever been to a beach in the course of your life. Probably a lot of you that are listening, maybe not, but just follow me on this. So sometimes you make plans to go to the beach and you gather up all your stuff. You get your sunscreen, you get your snacks, you get a book, sunglasses, whatever. Drive all the way down there, find a nice quiet spot, put out your chair, you relax, you throw your sunscreen on your face. Be careful, Rebels. Always be careful with sunscreen. Make sure you use it, and you just relax, and you feel like, okay, well, I've been here about 3 or 4 hours, so I guess I better get going. And then you actually look at your watch or your phone or whatever you're using to keep time, and you realize that you've only been there for about 45 minutes. This has happened to me several times. Like, haven't we been here a long time? No, we have not. Oh, okay. I thought this interview ran a lot longer because we covered so many topics in our conversation, and I was really having a fun time with Steven. So I didn't realize that it was such a short interview, but it is an enjoyable one. So please have a listen to my conversation with Steven Phillips of The Morning Dish. Hello there, Rebels. We are back in the radio room at the Sherpa Chalet. My guest is a two-time Gabby Award-winning DJ. He is down in the lovely state of Georgia, on the mountains and everything. He's probably got the best view out of everybody in the whole United States. He is the host of The Morning Dish. His name is Steven Phillips. Steven, welcome to the show.
Hey, man, I'm glad to be here. I guarantee you, let a Southern boy in with some of y'all Yankees up there.
We got plenty of folks from the South coming in the Sherpa Chalet, Stephen.
Oh, there you go.
That is not a problem.
Jeez. Now, I'm going to tell you about that two-time Gabby Award. It did not help my credit at all. I took both of them up there to the bank. And it didn't impress them at all. They were not impressed. No.
So who awards a Gabby Award?
It's actually the Gabby. It's the Radio Gabby Awards for the state of Georgia. And so they do them in each state. And so I got the Personality of the Year. I got the Merit Award in 2017. And then 2020, I got the Personality of the Year. So it worked out pretty good. But like I said, it didn't help my credit. But yeah.
It's a feather in your cap. As a matter of fact, for 2021, I am nominated for the You Have a Podcast Award?
Yeah, that's cool.
Maybe it's being the other guy who has 3 listeners.
Yeah. Maybe you'll get increase your credit. I don't know. I just made my will out and none of my kids wanted them. So I guess I don't know what's going to happen.
You said that you actually fell into radio by accident. It wasn't even a planned course of study.
Nope, not at all. No, I went by the radio station to promote my band. I got a band, Steven Phillips and Midnight Express, and we were doing a gig for a fundraiser, and the lady that was over it wanted me to go with her to help promote it on the radio. And they had a little morning show called The Morning Dish. And so I went by. We was on there probably 15 minutes and talked, and then that was on like a Thursday, I guess. And then that Sunday, the station owner, Jeff Batten from Batten Communications, sent me an email wanting to know if I'd be interested in maybe hosting The Morning Dish. And I said, man, I've never done radio in my life. I've never been on, other than just play like, turn it on, turn it off. So he said, well, come up and try it. And so I went up and sat in with him. And I've been there 9 years, going on 9 years doing The Morning Dish. And it gets bigger and bigger. And we have a lot of fun, man. We talk about, it's an hour-long talk show, but it's a cross between, the Tonight Show and, John Boy and Billy Show. We just have a big time and make fun of everybody and everything. People can't laugh at themselves no more. And it's sad. We're reversed from Fox News because we're unfair and unbalanced. We just get out there and go with it. I mean, there's so much to laugh about, You got the so much in news now that's so depressing. It's like an hour people kind of go away from all that, just laugh it and have a good time. That's what it's all about.
I was just going to say that everybody does need that little bit of escape every now and then. We can't just kind of dwell on all the horrible things that are happening in the world. And people have to loosen up sometimes. And, sometimes I think when the pendulum swings a certain way, it gets even harder to do that.
Oh, Lord, yeah. And it's getting harder and harder now with everybody getting their feelings hurt. We growed up, with sticks and stones will break your bones and words will never hurt you, but now it's, it's like if somebody says something, they just, it's like, oh, you need to die or something, but I don't know. We have a good time with it and everybody seems to like it. And so it's growing. We've, like I said, they did the station, they have a program that they check on the listeners. And so far, 5 years running, our show has been number 1 for 5 solid years running. And it gets bigger and bigger every year. So I'm pretty proud of that. But it don't pay much. It's like everything else. It don't pay much. But I still got to go to work after I get off the show.
Now, and your format is classic rock.
Yep. Heart, soul, and rock and roll, man. We play the good stuff, the 60s, 70s, and getting into some 80s stuff. There's a lot of good stuff, like Matchbox 20 in the 80s and that kind of stuff, But the new stuff, no, we don't play much of that. So if you're going to listen to Justin Bieber, you need to get another channel. So,
or better taste in music. Did I say that out loud?
You did. I think everybody agreed with us.
Oh my.
Yeah. But you'll have to, Justin Bieber does drive a 4-wheel drive Dodge Cummins turbocharged diesel. There is one good thing about it.
Okay, we'll give him that.
We'll give him that. Yep.
What kind of music did you grow up listening to?
Man, I started out in music. My mother was playing the piano in church is kind of where I got my start. But I grew up with, I fell in love with Waylon Jennings early in Waylon and Willie and all that. And then, of course, it's funny, my kids listen to like Van Halen and they're, I love this classic rock. And I can remember when it come out, but I got a why. I like everything. I mean, I guess I'm like most musicians. I like rock and roll. I like country. I mean, I'm a big Dean Martin fan. I love Dean Martin. I mean, that's crazy to think, but I lean more towards our music is more with the band is more kind of a Southern rock country / Waylon Jennings style stuff, And we make our own songs up. They ain't very good, but we make them up and put them out there anyway. So I don't like the new stuff at all. I can't do that. I don't listen to hip hop because I can't dance. But no, I don't like the new stuff. I like the old stuff. But I like the country, and I mean, ain't much I don't like. What about you?
I listen to all sorts of stuff too. I'll listen to Dean Martin, Tony Bennett, or even Depeche Mode, or Duran Duran, or
I kind of got, over the years. I'll tell you somebody that I adore, and he's actually a friend of mine, but I love his music. I don't know if you ever heard of Paul Thorne. I don't, promote him, I guess, but I love Paul Thorne. You need to check him out. He's my favorite of all time right now. And he's actually a friend of mine, but he was raised in Tupelo, Mississippi. His daddy was a preacher and his uncle was a pimp. So that's his upbringing. So
that sounds like a song right there.
That's honest. And he wrote a song about it called Pimps and Preachers. Yeah. But,
if you don't, that's a squandered opportunity.
There you go. Yeah. I like some of the offbeat stuff, like Whiskey Myers. We actually got to open up for them one time, but I like Whiskey Myers and a lot of that kind of stuff.
Now, you said you were in a movie.
Yeah, oh boy. Like I said, if you put it in slow motion, you can see me. Yeah, it's called The Devil to Pay. Here in Georgia, they shot a lot of movies. Like I said, Deliverance. I know a lot of folks listening, they remember the movie Deliverance, but it was actually shot in the next county over. Black Dog with Patrick Swayze, and then Trouble with the Curve was shot here. But anyway, they were shooting a little movie here. They rented some cars from me, and it was a low budget. It seemed like every time I get involved with a movie, it's low budget. But they said, "You're perfect. We need you. You're perfect." And so actually, I walk out. I get a shotgun out of a truck, and then the next scene is me sitting in a chair with my throat cut. So, but my name is in the credits. So, hey, you can't beat that.
You were a man with slit throat.
Yeah, that's it. I died good, I'm like, oh, tell my mama I love her. Oh, tell my mama I love her. And like, you can't talk. You have to be quiet. You can't say anything. But anyway, that's my whole movie career. Everybody wants to be a movie star. So, and I was the closest one there that looked like Brad Pitt, I guess, is kind of why I guess. So maybe that's why I got the part. Or Jack Nicholson. Yeah.
It's funny. Whenever I talk to actors who die in movies, I'm always like, how did you die? How did they do it? I don't know why. It's like a weird obsession with me.
Gee. No, I didn't. It was fun, though. It was a lot of fun.
They just kind of posed you with a slit throat, right?
Yeah, the next scene was me. I'm actually sitting you can look through the window, and I'm actually sitting in the next room over with my throat cut. So it ain't a very big part. It's not much to brag about, but like I said, my name's in the credits. But they were good people, and it was a lot of fun. But movies are boring to me as far as shooting. I don't know if you've ever been around them, but it's like they do the same thing over and over and over all day long. But the ending is a lot of fun to watch. But golly, it's like change position of the camera and let's do it again. And it's a lot of work, but I'm not a big movie guy. I like the music better.
Yeah, I hear that a lot from people who do movies. They said you have to have a lot of patience because, like you said, all the retakes and everything like that, and sometimes for continuity as well, they have to make sure that one scene flows into another.
Right.
And they say, what looks like it's 10 minutes of action could have taken like 3.5 weeks to film.
Right. And I'll tell you some of the stuff that's pretty cool. I've got the Dukes of Hazzard and all them people. I've got to interview a lot of the stunt drivers. Now, that would be the fun part if it comes to movies. I'd love to do that. Just tear some stuff up and they pay you for it. You can't go wrong with that.
that is very true.
You can't make a redneck more happy with somebody else's car, gas, and tires. You know what?
Tell me a little bit about the morning dish.
We do a 1-hour show, and we actually just I take the topics of the day. In the mornings I get up early and I just go through the headlines, and there is so much stuff to make fun of. It's not even funny. You've got one guy that locked his kids in the closet while they got married because he didn't like kids. It's just something that just goes on and on and on. And we just just talk about the stupid stuff that's going on in the day. And we make fun of everybody and everything. And then at the halfway through, we always do an interview with somebody. Hopefully we'll have you on one day. But we just talk to everybody that you can think of. I've had Gary Chapman, which is a Grammy Award winner, singer-songwriter with Christian artist, all the way to, you just name it. I've had them on. It's unreal. Rick Perel, which actually wrote the barbecue song. Do you know the barbecue song by Tim McGraw?
I think so. I'm not too sure. I don't know too
well.
He
had a barbecue stain on a white T-shirt. You know that song at all? Yeah, well, anyway, he wrote that song. It was one of the biggest hits that Tim McGraw ever had. But, in the video, it shows this pretty little girl walking around with a barbecue stain. But down in the South, we always thought she should have been a large bone girl. That's more like what it is. But, anyway, I've had, Brad Carter. I don't know if you know Brad Carter, but we've had, everybody. And this gets bigger and bigger. We do a 15-minute interview, and then the last half, we just kind of wrap it up, it's a lot of fun. And like I said, we just kind of take the headlines of the day and just go with it. I mean, it's just like, I don't know, you got to laugh at the stuff. And there's so much out there now, and especially a lot of it comes out of Florida. I think there's a lot of crazy people in Florida. That's where more of the crazy stories come from, but
you all gravitate towards it.
Yeah. But I don't know, but it's a lot of fun. And I've got a co-host, Sherry Rain. She's with, of course, I've got different co-hosts. They come on different days. And then Packy Smith kind of runs the board, and we just kind of bounce off each other and just laugh. Yeah, just laugh is the main thing. Of course, one of the things that they have fun with, we've been doing, we do the word of the day. And I'm dyslexic, so I always come up, I pronounce it the way it looks to me. But anyway, it's a lot of fun. And they have a lot of fun out of that. But just different stuff. And then making fun of headlines and politics. We make fun of politics and people and, just lay with it.
Who would be your dream guest for your show?
Oh, Stuart Mongolian. I don't know if you know him or not. I actually got to interview him.
Rockford Files.
Rockford Files. I'm a big Rockford Files nut. I love the Rockford Files. I like James Garner. And anyway.
There's a picture of him behind you.
Yeah, I got him up there with the Rockford File. Anyway, I was wanting to introduce him, and I kept trying to find him, and I ended up with a phone number, and I called this guy up, and he answered the phone. He's like, "Who is this?" And I said, "Well, this is Steven Phillips, and I'm trying to get up with Stuart." And he said, "Well, how'd you get this number?" And I said, "Well, somebody give it to me." And it was Christopher Martini. Now, I don't know if you know Christopher Martini. His brother is Max Martini, which is the big actor. And Christopher and Max is his stepson. So I actually got to interview Christopher Martini and got to be friends with him, and I got to interview Stuart. So that's one of my dream guests. And so that was a good interview. And he's an older man, but he is still sharp. And that was a dream interview. And then Charles Bernstein. I don't know if you remember Charles Bernstein or not, but anyway, if you watch TV and movies, he's the guy that puts the scary sounds and all that stuff behind the movies. An amazing guy. And that was another one because he had a movie back in 1973 called White Lightning. And the ending credits of it, there was a song that he wrote. It was 1 minute and 20 seconds long. And you can listen to the interview. You can go to YouTube and listen to the interview on The Morning Dish with Steven Phillips with Charles Bernstein. There's a minute and 20 seconds long called Way Down Under. And I got the rights to that. And we recut that song and put it out. And he got a hold of it and actually sent me an email and thanked me for it. And then I got to interview him. And then if you look right there, he actually sent me a copy of the soundtrack from the White Lightning and signed it to me. Thank you, Steven Phillips. So I thought that was pretty cool. But yeah, so I don't know I hadn't conquered it yet. I guess Jay Leno would be my next one I'd like to get on. I'd like to interview Jay Leno.
You guys can talk cars.
Yeah, we can talk cars. Jay Leno's got to be the coolest guy out there, man, in California. I mean, he does comedy where he can afford his cars. I mean, that's kind of what everybody else does. They do the movie career where they can afford whatever else they do, But yeah, I'd like to get Jay Leno on. I think he's a cool guy.
So since this is a podcast about podcasts, I was just wondering what kind of podcast you like to listen to, Steven.
I like to listen to your podcast. I like it better than any other.
The check is in the mail, sir.
You got to pay me for that.
I'll be broke by the end of the year. People keep saying that. But I actually have to pay people to listen now.
Yeah. I listen to a lot of different country stuff, because I'm a country guy. Dean Miller, I don't know if you know Dean Miller. He's got a cool podcast out that he does that talks about Roger Miller, who was a singer back in the day. That's his son.
King of the Road?
Yeah, absolutely. King of the Road. He's got some cool stories he talks about. He's got a podcast out I listen to. And then Georgette Jones, she's actually got some pretty cool stuff that I listen to. Yeah, this podcast stuff is cool. I love listening to it. I mean, I don't know. What's your favorite one other than yours?
I only listen to mine once. I'm like, who put this idiot on a podcast?
There you go.
And then I realized, I know the answer to that question.
Hey, you've got a good podcast though, man. I've listened to your stuff. I really do. I mean, you do good with it.
Oh, thank you very much.
Got to keep it interesting,
I try and mix it up. We definitely talk to a wide variety of folks, and that's what really keeps it interesting. I like hearing from people from different walks of life and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Even sometimes there are interviews that I'm like, I'll probably never do that. And then I end up doing a certain type of interview. I'm like, okay, that wasn't so bad. And it just kind of adds to the repertoire.
Being an interview, I've done a lot of interviews and there's some that you just have to drag their words out. That runs me crazy. You know, I'm like, please say something. You know, you ever run into that? It's like,
oh yes,
it's like silence. But now, I don't know if you edit this or not, but we can't edit. We're live. We're on. So whatever comes out, comes out. So we're just sitting there twiddling your thumbs, trying to help the guy say the next word.
Yeah, I had one person, and he kept saying, and you know, and stuff like that.
I had that same guy on. I know exactly who you're talking about.
Let's go from podcast to podcast.
Yeah, and the things, and the. Oh my gosh, almighty, please.
And then after the interview, he says, "Well, this was my first interview. Really, you hit it so well."
Oh, man, that is so funny, but that is the truth. But anyway, you got to take all kinds of them.
As long as people got a story to tell, they're always welcome to the show.
You know what I like, though? I mean, all these people that, I've interviewed a lot of famous people, and it's fine. Like Ruta Lee. I don't know if you've interviewed her or not. She's like amazing. And they're just normal people, and you see them on the screen, and a lot of people hold them up like but they're normal, just like anybody else. They've got their lives going on and stuff like that. And that's what I like to get to. What's behind the actor? What are you doing? What are you eating for supper tonight? Kind of thing,
Mm-hmm.
We say supper down here. I guess y'all say dinner up there, right?
Yeah, I think dinner. Yeah.
Yeah. Dinner is lunch down here. Yeah. Dinner.
Okay. Yeah. No, lunch is lunch for us.
Yeah. Breakfast, dinner, and supper. So anyway. And fried chicken. That's why I'm a Baptist, because fried chicken, they eat the best. Baptists eat the best of any religion out there. I don't care what they say.
And I know with Southerners, the word barbecue is a completely different meaning down south than it is anywhere else in the world.
Right. Yep, I guarantee it now. And everybody argues over who's got the best barbecue, but I like it all. You like barbecue?
Pretty good with it.
Yeah. Yeah, I like barbecue. And Spam. You like Spam?
I don't think I've ever eaten Spam.
Are you kidding me?
Never, ever.
Oh, my Lord. You're missing out. You got to get you some Spam. I love Spam.
All right. What's the best way to eat Spam? This is a learning experience.
Hey, you got to fry it, man. You got to slice it. It's about a 1/4 inch thick. You got to put it in the pan. You got to brown it, make it good and brown. I like mine a little more crispy. Fry you an egg, piece of cheese, put it on a sandwich, and Duke mayonnaise. I bet y'all ain't even got Duke mayonnaise.
That I've never heard of, no.
Duke mayonnaise? Are you kidding? Anyway, got to have Duke mayonnaise. I'll send you some. I've sent it Burton Gilliam. Do you know Burton Gilliam that was the actor? I've sent him some. He loves it. He lives out in Texas. He's like, this is the best stuff I ever eaten in my life. He was on Blazing Saddles. I don't know if you remember Burton, but he's the guy that does the dancing. But yeah, you got to get. I'll send you some. It'll change your life. You'll grow a beard.
I just picture getting mayonnaise in the mail going, oh, it's Steven. He's got me mayonnaise.
Yeah, it's a Southern thing. It's called Southern hospitality. Yeah.
So we have a portion of the show, and it is called Shameless Self-Promotion.
Shameless self-promotion.
And Steven, this is where you can let everybody know where they can listen to The Morning Dish and if they want to follow you guys on social media.
Well, I appreciate that. Yeah, I'd love for y'all to. Actually, it's The Morning Dish on Facebook. And then you can go to Steven Phillips with The Morning Dish on YouTube. And I've got all the stuff up there. Plus, we've got a podcast in the same name. But if you just Google Steven Phillips with The Morning Dish, it brings everything up. And we've got Steven Phillips and the Midnight Express. We didn't talk about that. But anyway, I got a little hillbilly band. We're out playing music, and that's what we love more than anything.
Did you put any CDs out?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I've got some cool CDs. I've got, we've got some cool songs. I've got called Haggard State of Mind, and I've got one of Merle Haggard's son actually going to co-sing with me on it. So I'm pretty excited about that. But it's all uploaded to all your, Pandora and everything like that, Steven Phillips and the Midnight Express. So you can check that out. But I think you'll have a lot of fun. And as far as the radio station, you can listen every morning live at WJULradio.com. You can't beat that.
There you have it. Mr. Steven Phillips, the voice of The Morning Dish. Thank you so much for coming by the show.
Hey, man, I appreciate you. You've been great.
Be a rebel. Follow the show at Sherpalution on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook.
And now it's time for Sherpa Suggestions.
Okay, for Sherpa Suggestions, I wanted to try something a little bit different. I've started up listing podcasts that I've been checking out that are on my playlist that I like to listen to. And there's one that I came across, and it's called Every Little Thing. And that's on Gimlet Media. Now, let me tell you a little bit about Every Little Thing. It's actually a phone-in show where people ask questions about little minute things in the universe. And the folks at that podcast, they look it up and they contact people and they provide answers to these people. Sometimes they're little obscure things. There were things about flamingos and why dachshunds don't win dog shows. And you can just imagine like little obscure things. That's probably the best way to put it. So I just wanted to give you a couple of more titles that are on Gimlet Media if you'd like to check it out. There is Chompers, Conviction, Crime Show, also Crime Town, Homecoming, Mogul, How to Save a Planet, Reply All, that's been around for a while, that was a pretty popular one, Science Versus, Surprisingly Awesome, The Habitat, and Where Should We Begin with Esther Perel. Bunch of good podcasts there. Check them out. They really work hard to give you stuff that you're going to enjoy. So Gimlet Media, if you want to look at their website, it's gimletmedia.com/shows. Thank you very much. Okay, Gimlet, you can send me a check now. A very special thanks to Steven Phillips for coming on by the show. Even though it was a quick interview, it was definitely a lot of fun. And maybe Steven will come back. He said he'd like to have me on his show. I'll be on the radio, on the airwaves. That'll be like the War of the Worlds, I think. I'll send people into a panic. But thank you so much for listening. And follow me on social media. Sherpalution, of course. On Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, I'm all over the place. You can hear what's coming up in the future if you do so, and special links. And when we have guests on that have special projects out, we like to share their information on there as well. It's a cool place to hang out. And of course, you are always free to comment and say nice things. And if you're going to say nice things, why not leave a nice review on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher.com, or iHeartRadio. Spread the word about the Sherpalution. Make people want to check us out. We're getting up there slowly but surely, and it's going to take some time, but that's fine. But the more people we can tell, the more fun we will have. Thank you so much for listening, and I will see you guys next time. Okay, Mr. Bruce, I think we can go home now. It's been a busy day. And just turn off that radio. Hey, wait a minute. Wait, I'm not on there yet, am I? No, okay. We're safe then. All right, bye, folks. Viva la Sherpalution.
Thanks for listening to Too Many Podcasts. Please disperse. You can go home now. I said you can go home now. Viva la Sherpalution. Viva la Sherpalution. Yeah, I'll come back now, you hear?